Salutations! You are, in fact, a real one. First, but not least, a genuine thank you for being a viewer and, I hope, having fun with me as I make my stupid little videos. We're only at about the half-year mark from when I began, and at 10k subs, I can't complain at all about my growth. Final Fantasy XIV is big, but it's not huge, so crossing into the 5 digits as just like a guy who started tooling around in Premiere Pro one day and in the not-so-distant past is kind of surreal. So naturally, I've let my micro celebritydom get to my head. I am now thinking about trying to take content creation slightly more seriously, which is why we're here today. Like every proper egomaniac, I've decided to make my own Discord server. Yeah, I know, most of these get made and then filed away in forgotten folders, muted and then never checked again, but I've had some actually great conversations with a few of you. Unfortunately, I am notoriously awful at checking and using my neglected Twitter, whereas Discord feels like something I could actually build around. As to the why, besides Discord being better for long-form conversations with you guys, I think it'd be a nice place to congregate things like announcements and viewer questions, but also, and maybe a little ambitiously, I want to make an actual community out of it. I've been brainstorming things like content nights, where I could introduce newer players to things like Savage or Extreme in a fun, low-pressure, educational environment. I'm also usually juggling several video ideas at a time, so maybe I could pull people's interest on certain topics or even get suggestions from you guys. I can't promise it'll be a utopia right off the jump, but it's something I'd like to get going. Next on the docket is something a little more capitalistic. Cyber begging. Just kidding. Ish. I am tentatively going to launch a Patreon, even though it feels a little uncomfortable. At the moment, my income is pretty much student loans and the paltry ad revenue I get from YouTube, but to be clear, I am not one failed video away from the streets. I am okay. But long term, a Patreon might make this whole thing a little more viable, and ideally allow me to turn out videos of better quality faster. I've had my eye on getting Adobe After Effects, something that would boost video quality a little bit if I got used to it, so stuff like that would be what the Patreon budget went toward. Of course, it goes without saying, but do not throw your last dineros at this. This is just an option for people who really enjoy the stuff I've been making and want to see more of it, and who can acknowledge that their personal ROI is probably not going to be incredible, at least at first. I think the only tangible perk we'll have at launch is a special Discord role of some variety which might have its own perks when and if the server gets some traction. Again though, this is all pretty rough draft stuff, so don't hold me to even that. The last announcement is along a similar vein and the one I'm least sure about. My channel is by no means large right now, but the very first sponsors are starting to appear. I haven't accepted anything yet, obviously, because without sounding cheesy, I didn't want to spring it on you guys and your trust matters quite a lot to me, more than a tiny canvas bag with a $sign on it. However, if I'm going in this direction, it is pretty likely I'm going to explore sponsorship and affiliate stuff eventually, and possibly sooner rather than later. But let this vow be recorded now. It needs to be good stuff I actually believe in. If you ever see some shitty mobile game advertised on this channel, you need to call the FBI and have them see if I've been kidnapped or threatened. But yeah, that's pretty much it. A Discord's going up and I am now soliciting your hard-earned money so that I can avoid the horrors of the modern world and instead make video game content. You guys have really been great so far, and I'm hoping said Discord lets me get to know you all a bit more. That said, joining isn't really a suggestion. If you don't sub to my channel and join the Discord, I am going to you alone.